For showing up for each other today and gathering, not only to stand up against the exclusions and the harms that many of you are threatened by under this administration, but also those affecting your brothers and sisters, because that's what this is about, isn't it, brothers and sisters? What if we're more than students and faculty, staff and administrators? What if we're more deeply connected to each other than the titles by which we call ourselves here? And don't get me wrong, these titles sometimes are necessary. I mean, I like to be called Dr. Diaz, professor, and profe by a few. And I think that at a school, we need these titles to establish a culture of respect. But we've forgotten an essential part of our culture of respect, which is the respect of our humanity. This moment isn't about who is legal and who isn't, who is a terrorist or a patriot, who is a criminal or a citizen, who has a socially accepted body and who does not, who has the right to be here and who does not. This moment is about us, who we are as people, as human beings. And we get to define that together, for ourselves, and not alone and not as individuals, but as a people. And as my brother Russell Rickford recently taught me, I want you to take a second and turn to the person next to you and I want you to say hello to them. Do it. Hello. Now give them a hug. And not some awkward, I don't know you hug. Give them a good old hug. Do it. I want you to give them that hug you give a long-lost friend or a loved one that you haven't seen in years. Because maybe we haven't seen ourselves in years. Because maybe this is the first time that some of us are seeing each other.
That's right.
The first time.
Tell it, Ella.
This moment that we're living in is overwhelming, and obviously I can't read my damn paper. This moment that we're living in is overwhelming, and it can be scary to stand up for what's right when your freedom is being threatened and your right to be here on this very campus feels that it's at risk. I know that it's scary for me, but I'm speaking regardless, and I'm speaking to you because it's our duty to fight for our freedom, and it's our duty to win, as the Reverend Siku sings. We must love and we must support each other because that's our duty and that's how we win. Many of us are citizens or have some sort of stable status in the United States, at least for the moment. And while you may care in the abstract or politically about undocumented people and students, what would happen if you thought of them as your brothers and sisters? The abstract political point of view you support would shift into something felt more deeply. That's called decolonial love, or when you let go and move beyond all those state-issued labels and status quo categories that never really quite add up to anyone other than a select few being actual human beings. So with that deeper feeling for one another, your brothers and sisters, I want you to now consider what it must feel like to be an undocumented person and a student. Think about what it took to get here, the studying, the discipline, the sacrifice, and also the expense, which for many of you may not be a hardship because of the blessings of your parents or your family's wealth. But undocumented students represent the working class and working poor communities, and I say working poor because poor people have always worked. Undocumented students have parents who sacrifice everything from meals, sleep, family time, holidays, and their own life's desires to make ends meet for their children and extended families. And what if their parents are your parents, your brothers and sisters? Then witness their sacrifice as you study and push yourself to make all of their efforts matter. Many of you may have seen or heard my comments at the City Council meeting in February when I spoke about the sanctuary resolution that ultimately passed. But I was actually responding that night to a council person from the previous meeting on that resolution, and the council person suggested that she was unaware that people live and work in Ithaca without visas, and she was concerned that we were endorsing undocumented workers. And I spoke about the factual reality that undocumented immigrants do not take citizens' jobs. The truth is, they do the work that citizens largely won't do because of a market that renders much of these jobs exploitive, from low wages to no protections of law that citizen workers have come to expect. And it's an unfair system and it's a horrifying one, but one we've come to rely on for affordable food, goods, and services. And if someone wants to argue that citizens should pick crop, work on farms and restaurant kitchens or on construction crews, I say, okay, let's do it. But will agribusiness and other industries magically change their employee benefits, their wage practices and abide by lawful protections for these citizen workers. So we're not being honest with ourselves as people about the reality in which we eat food, consume goods, and pay for services. But I brought my comments up that I made at the council meeting because I wanted to tell you about what happened afterwards. I was reprimanded by another council member for being too angry and unfair to his colleague. And I responded to this council person in an email, and I identified myself and I made him aware that it's my right as a citizen to show up early to City Hall, to fill out a card, and to do so in the allotted time, and then take my seat respectfully. And he agreed with me that it is my right, but see, he didn't like my tone. He called me angry. So I watched the recording that my friend made of me speaking, just to check, see if I was angry. And I didn't hear anger in my voice. I heard love.
That's right,
love for my family, love for people, love for us. And I used my citizenship, my rights to speak for others who are more vulnerable than me.
Thank you.
And I hope you hear love in my voice right now when I tell you that we need to speak up. It's time, and we need to talk back. And we need to use our rights to protect each other and those most vulnerable amongst us. So speak truth to power, and as a people, let's demand that the university protect all of our brothers and sisters.